You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you. You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, real estate investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
Blessings, 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 Uncensored Enlightenment Talk family. Blessings, Primetime Home Buyers family. We are streaming on multi-platforms today. We're streaming on our Uncensored Enlightenment Talk page as well as our Rumble Secure Your Energy page. Shout out to Rumble as well as our Primetime Home Buyer page and Facebook, okay? So just hit the like button if you're here to learn. You're here to learn. This is the place. Whenever you see Lashley wearing this jacket, that means that I'm in teacher mode, okay? So like I promised, we're going to follow up with some of the information that we provided to you last week in regards to taxes increase in the suburban Illinois area and across the United States. I want to say thank you for joining our trending topics last week. And you know, we always follow up with the facts. So today we're going to have a formal presentation that we're going to highlight how to understand your property taxes. In some ways you can mitigate that. Some ways that you can approach your government about different things to help you save on your tax bill. So we're going to do that today. So just give you a heads up. The first 4 broadcasts presenting the PowerPoint is going to be on Primetime Home Buyers and on our business page. Once we focus in on the southern side of Illinois, we're going to log off of those page and we're just going to be streaming on our Uncensored Enlightenment page and Facebook because we want to focus that content in for Dalton and for Illinois. Okay. So if you're here for it, please hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I'm here for it. Okay. So we have a presentation. We're going to put the PowerPoint up there. Now I have to present it in the form of the PowerPoint. I'm saying it a different way. It's because it was having some technical issues before, and I don't want to have that today. So you're going to see my whole PowerPoint program, you know, at this point. I just want to make sure that everybody can see it and that I'm flipping through the PowerPoints, because what end up happening is that I'm not flipping through the PowerPoints and you just hear me talking, and I don't want that. Okay. So let me put myself at the bottom of the screen and get myself off of the screen. Thank you guys. I hope you guys are having a great morning, and I hope you like the video that we did last night. I enjoyed it. We got more for you today. Okay, so let's get to it. This is about a 21 page PowerPoint. It's not that bad. I need you guys to get your pen and paper together, because what we're going to do today, we're going to learn how to mitigate our risk factors related to increased property tax. Okay, so understanding property tax, brought to you by Primetime Home Buyer, and I am your tax lien lady, Lashley. Okay, Now, we will make some announcements at the end as well. We have 2 free information sessions coming up. Understanding property taxes. So, property tax limitations, these are some of the topics that we're going to hit today. Property tax limitation, assessment limitation, levy limitation, rate limits, understanding the cap value on property taxes, and understanding homestead exemptions. Okay, these are the key objectives for us to focus in today. Can you be exempted from property tax? Veterans can pay a reduced tax. Individuals living below the property line, and that's not poverty line, it's property line, may meet the requirements for a lower tax rate or to be exempt. Individuals who are disabled, some multi-residents used for vacation properties can pay a reduced in tax rates. Now, we talked about that when we talked about being a business owner and having the title of a real estate investor. Which one would you benefit? Being a business owner, real estate investor, or just a personal investor? And that affects you tax-wise. Okay, so just to highlight that. Property tax limitations. So, what are property taxes? Just in a nutshell, property taxes are levied on all properties within the United States domicile. Property taxes are usually due twice a year, and its value is calculated by the local municipality. So, what they do is give you one yearly tax bill, and you have 2 deadlines to pay it. There are 3 categories that you must pay attention to, okay? So it's the assessment limits, the levy limits, and the rate limits. So we're going to get into detail of that. We're going to show you a tax bill from Illinois, okay? Properties that are taxed. So you just want to know most everything is taxed, but land, improvement, permanent building structures, etc., garage. So just know if you add structures, that's called improvements, and you will be taxed based on the increased fair market value of your home. Personal property, including mobile homes, anything owned and can be moved on the property. So if you have a mobile home as well, you will be taxed. There are some investors who like get land and just put mobile homes on there. They tax you per unit. Real estate consists of land with improvements. Okay, so that's basically a basic property. Make sure I'm not skipping too far. Okay, so now we're going to focus in on assessment limits. And this is what I want you guys to pay attention to, because these are some of the things you can ask your government officials. What are your options to help you lower your tax bill? And also it's going to help you in the appeal process as well. Okay, so assessment limits. Assessment limits is set in place to limit how much an individual homeowner tax can be increased on their property. The assessment limit is affected by the assessed value of the property. Okay, so this is set up by policies. Assessment limits can freeze any assessment increase. Example, some assessment cap values are 3% per year. So if there's an assessment limit, it will cap at 3% per year, no matter what the policy change or the economic forecast. The assessment limits are aimed to control tax increase. Okay, and that's what will help the homeowners stay in their home. These tax increase can raise the homeowner's values and eventually price out the homeowner. And that's what we're trying to avoid here, because that's how many people are feeling like they're getting priced out. And we showed you some example where tax bill went from $1,300 to $130,000. Absolutely horrendous. And it's so crazy they expect that man to appeal it instead of correct it. So this is why we're doing it. Okay, keep doing this. Keep in mind, new homeowners or a switch in home ownership can affect the ability of having assessment caps. So giving you an idea of an assessment cap, it comes with a policy. Sometimes they have a time limit, and those time limits won't fall under the new homeowner. Okay, so this is what causes a variation of taxes that are due amongst like homes if you have an assessment limit that is applied. So one homeowner may benefit from the assessment limit, but a newer homeowner may face increased taxes. Now we're going to go into rate limit. And please let me know if I'm moving too fast, okay? Because sometimes I talk fast because I be wanting to get through the content. So we talked about assessment limits, and now we're going to talk about what is a rate limit. Now, these are the things you need to talk to your government officials about. We're going to look on a bill and show you these different items, okay? Rate limit is a method used to cap the rate of taxes placed on by the local municipality. So you don't want them to have a high rate. You remember I told you to rate 0.6, 0.2. They had 1%, things like that. It was governed by policymakers. Policies can vary from increase of rates to policy designed to increase collections. Okay. The rate limit in many cases are placed on by the tax authority, adjusting the rate over time or by size of the rate increase. Okay. So over time, it can increase or stay the same, or by the rate of the size increase. Okay. Rate limit can be adjusted or overcome by voters. This is why you need to be there. You need to understand this. They be talking gooly goom goom, and everybody be like, what? Now you're going to understand when you hear these key words. This can be done at your local municipality through participating in board meetings, etc. And finance meetings, directly finance meetings. The rate limit works to help all homeowners, new and old property owners, benefit because the rate calculation. So that rate, remember I told you 0.6, 1.0. We don't want a 1.0. We want 0.01. But at this point, we the people are not seeing that. But that is what's calculated. And we're going to show you how to calculate that within this presentation. Calculate your possible taxes, okay? Now we're going to move on into levy limits. What is a levy? When the levy is created, that means that levy has to be paid or confiscation can happen. Levy represents the overall revenue growth. That's the overall amount that they're going to be levying from you. This is considered the actual amount of revenue raised by the tax authority through taxation. The total levy is the percentage of value, fair market value, times the rate of the homeowner can be taxed. So it's the rate times the fair market value, and it's a percentage of the fair market value. Remember, I told you if your home is worth $200,000, they're not going to tax you on the full $200,000. That's assessment limit rate. Okay. The total levy amount is based on the change of the tax rate or assessed value. So the total levy amount will fluctuate based on the tax rate, what we explained to you, and the assessed value. And we know how to get the assessed value. If you don't know, we're going to kind of just touch down on it. All right. So in some cases, it avoids penalizing improvements on properties, penalizing moving, or avoiding being penalized for new construction. As you know, your taxes increase for any of the three. So when there are levy limits, and they do that, especially when the market is inflation, this is some of the things that they do. What I gave you an example of last week, it wasn't the levy limit, but what they did was decrease the fair market value assessment threshold for a property I had, and it lowered the fair market value, which me as a seller was kind of like, okay, it appears less than what it's worth, but it saved me money for the year. And they were doing that incentive wise for COVID. Okay. So in some cases it avoids. Okay. So we did read that last one. Now let's move on. Understanding cap value on property taxes. Now we're moving on to another concept. What is a cap value on property taxes? And we're going to show you some examples as well. Okay. A cap value system is put in place to limit the annual increase of the assessed value percentage on the property. Okay, let's give you an example. Your property is $200,000 and you have a 1% maximum increase assessed value. So they assess your home. They're assessing your home. Okay, it's a difference from when the tax assessors assess it and an actual different assessor, personal one. It shouldn't be a different in too much of the fair market value unless somebody is crooked, but they do their own thing. Does that make sense? So this is the assessor who's assessing the cap value. So they will put policies in place so they can have a cap value for you, so it won't go crazy. So, for example, if your property is 200,000, you in your town it may be a 1% max increase cap value. So what you'll do is times that times the 200,000, the 1%, and that'll be $2,000. So next year, that means that your property will possibly be assessed as $202,000. Okay, and this will be your next year property value assessment at or about. Does that make sense? So you guys can see how they're calculating this stuff. Ooh. Did I move too fast? Hold on, y'all. Okay. Understand cap value on property taxes continue. So take your notes, guys. Capping the assessed value can be categorized by, these are the different categories which they cap the assessed value. It can be based on the location, as like lower income housing area, the use of the property, commercial versus residence, the property size, large versus small, improvements and renovations. Okay, and they can cap it based on the economy. Please hit the like button. Please let me know if you like the information that I'm sharing, if it's helpful for you. We'll also prompt you to see your local tax expert, okay? Go talk to your county representative. This information we share is for information and educational purposes only. As y'all know, I love to research. So anything that has to do with real estate, economy, finance, that's going to affect me, I learn about it. And whatever I learn, I share with you. I also use this content to enhance the credibility and also the content that I have with my business, Primetime Home Buyers, where we invest in tax liens and tax deeds. The more you know, the more you grow, and the more they can't tell you the BS. Okay? So let's get back to it. Understanding cap values on properties. When properties has a cap value, it can be beneficial for many homeowners. So again, if we have an understanding of cap values, we want to be able to understand how that benefits many homeowners. The cap of rates benefits many homeowners as well. Okay, so understand rates. I need you to go back to that. You may want to talk to your representative about capping the rates in your city, okay? Because sometimes city has taxes and then the state has some, and we're going to show you some examples. So when you get when your property value, when the property tax, I do apologize. When property tax has a cap value, this can create a more predictability for the homeowner, as for example, more predictable tax bills, financial stabilities for the property taxpayer. Capping the value system can help prevent rapid gentrification, okay? Lower unaffordable, or also lower unaffordable taxes for long-term residents. You know that our residents are being affected because they are on a fixed income, i.e. the person that we showed you last week literally gets $1,200 a month, and they're expecting to spend $130,000 in taxes for a home that they already paid off. This, Understanding cap values on property taxes. Now continue with your notes, guys. So this is a disadvantage. We're always going to give you the good, bad, and the ugly before you make a decision. Or, you always inquire about more information, but you want to be knowledgeable. Disadvantage of using cap value systems on property. The system can result in an inequality and a higher or lower tax burden on residents. We're going to give you an example. Residents who may have a smaller home may pay more taxes based on the cap value because it's just a cap value. Residents who have larger homes may pay smaller amount of taxes based on the current cap value. So if you just have a cap value and they're not going by rate, this is what can affect you. So you need to know what your municipality is using. Are they going by rate? Are they going by cap value? Which one can you apply for cap value? Especially depending on how much a tax bill is. Cap values are set upon by the state, and we're going to go into that, okay, to show you how that can be done. So residents who have, we talked about that, the government can suffer by not collecting adequate taxes as well. That's why a lot of them don't opt to use the cap value. It becomes a problem sometimes. Understanding cap values on property taxes, determining if the cap value system is right for you. Now, To determine this, you need to have some knowledge, just the basic knowledge of things you should know. Know your fair market value of your home, current. Look at the state cap value. Example here, Texas is 10%. Now, if you have a tax bill that went up 130%, and or whatever is $130,000, and it was $1,300 last year, and instead of being taxed the way they tax you this year, you can say bump it. I'm gonna do 10%. I want to opt for a cap value. You talk to your official, your assessment specialist in your county, and see what's the application process. And maybe that 10% is way better than the increase due by the inflation that's happening right now. Does that make sense? That's why we're kind of talking about what cap value is. It's a good and a bad. Now you have to talk to your assessment specialist in your county to see if it's a deadline, if it's a time frame that this cap value stays on your property. Can you remove it? Those type of things. Okay, but these are the questions you want to know. Okay, if by using the cap rate decrease your tax bill, you may want to consider applying for a cap rate through your local government. Please keep in mind, if you have a cap rate, it is still possible for the government to adjust the tax rates, leading to a higher tax bill. Okay, so the tax rate do apply, but you have a cap rate. If that cap rate is less than the full amount of your tax bill, when you appeal or apply for it, that will happen. But in cases that the rate increase after you have put your cap rate in, your bill can still increase. Does that make sense? This cap rate is all based on the actual time frame when you actually apply, and then if things change policy wise, this may affect your bill instead. Okay, so I don't want you to think that you could just totally get away. You got to keep your eye on the prize here. All right, it's chess, not checkers. All right, can you hear me clear, guys? Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for it. Calculate your property taxes. So let's get into calculating your property taxes, guys, so you can understand how this is done. Understanding the first two factors that are needed to assess the general property taxes. What I keep talking about, understand your appraised value of your property, the fair market value, understand comps, comparables. I will put the description of the video where we did do your own appraisal, okay, just to get an idea. So if you feel like the appraised amount that they gave you is not adequate, one, you can seek someone else. Two, you also can have your own report and say, hey, this is what I found. Let me see yours. Let's compare. You know how Lashley do. We coming in hot. Now, calculating your property tax, other factors to consider is the appraisal of the land or the home, okay? Also, you want to keep in consideration the location. That's when you talk about the comps. Is it a rural area, city area, residential? What's starting to happen in the area? Marked development can increase your taxes tremendously, okay? Not only just inflation. The value of the area around the property, what's going on, i.e. Dalton. That's why you want to ask some questions. Why my taxes going up and around our area is not looking as valuable as our taxes are reflecting. Does that make sense? So calculation guidelines are set by the local municipality, and this is why you need to be there at these meetings, asking questions, listening. It may be a little boring, but record it, go back and listen to it 2 or 3 times so it can make sense to you and you can ask the proper questions. Continuing to calculate your property taxes, excuse my typo. I told y'all I need an editor. Okay. I told y'all. Okay. Anybody want to be my editor? I am hiring. Okay. I am building the team. I have one contractor and I'm looking for about 2 more. Help me out, guys. I'm willing to pay. So calculating property tax involves understanding that a levy can be placed on the property. What is a levy? The levies are those different bills that apply to it, and it's coming from a specific organization. Like you, for instance, we're talking about levies that's put on your home from contractors. Now, this is a levy that's put on your tax bill by the city, the county, School district, I just gave you three. But when we went into tax bill, we were seeing college, libraries. It just depends on your state and municipality, okay? So those are what's considered the levy. The city is levying you. The county is levying you. The school district is levying you. If you have questions, like for instance, I have questions about my school levy. It's too high. What regulates the school levy? Why is it so high compared to the other ones? So that's some of the questions you can ask on your appeal process. Does that make sense? And you need to do your due diligence and look at the law. Bring that to them. Don't let them that just present it to you and be like, oh, this is what it is. I'm like, and if they do say this is what it is, like, could you show me? Could you show me so I can look at it myself? Okay. So calculating property taxes, step one. Now let me give you an example. This is an example of a levy, a mill levy. Somebody has a mill in their town. Okay. So this is just an example. A mill levy is referred to an aggregated rate of taxes. So that is based on the rate. So for instance, like we said, we have the county at a rate of 0.6. We have the school at a rate of 2.3. I'm just like really high. I'm just throwing it out there. And then you may have the the city that has a 0.2 rate. I'm just giving you an example. So in this city, they have a mill. So the mill has a levy for you to keep the mill functioning. Does that make sense? So this mill levy right here has an aggregated tax rate. The mill levy is the total tax rate levy on your property value. 1 mil represents, it's supposed to be 1%. Excuse me, guys. Why it didn't messed up? I'm gonna fix it. 1% of a cent. 1% of a dollar. It's supposed to be 1%. That's what it was. Now, it's supposed to be 1%. Now, let's give you an example. So the mill levy is 1%. Just like I gave you an example, the other ones are 2.6, 0.6, whatever. Our mill levy here is 1%. 1 mil equals $1 of each $1,000. 1%. Just an example of what 1% will represent on the assessed property value. Okay, so 1% of your assessed property value. Now let's move on. Continue calculations. After understanding the assessed value multiplied by the rate, again, we told you the rate is 1%. We already know that is the rate right here. Right here. This represents the rate. Okay. And that's 1%. After you do that, then we're going to give you an example. Your home is worth $500,000. Now, I did switch the rate here. I do apologize. I gave you an example of 8% rate. So 8% is high as hell. Okay. But if your property value, if the rate is 8%, I switched the rate. I do apologize. What will be the assessed taxable value from the tax assessor will be $40,000. They will not base the full percentage, the rate times 500,000. Does that make sense? They will not. There is a certain amount of rate of the value that they can tax. That is the cap value system. Does that make sense? So in this particular tax bill, $40,000 of their $500,000 home will be taxable related to the mill levy. Okay, so we know the mill levy here. The mill, I think I mixed it up. The mill levy is 1%, and the rate is the rate of taxation. I do apologize, y'all. I told you I'm not a tax expert, but I'm getting it together. This 8% right here is actually the rate that they can tax you. Okay, does that make sense? And as I told you, Texas was capped at 10. Okay, does that make sense? So they can tax you 8% of the fair market value. We got the actual the mill rate is, what they can tax you. That levy consists of 1% for clarification. So what you would do would take that 1% times it and divide it into the $40,000. And that will tell you right now your tax bill will be levied for $1,800. Okay, based on this. Based on a $500,000 home. $1,800 will be in the section where it says mill levy bill. Like, you see what I'm saying? So if that doesn't make sense, please rewind it. I will do this part over one more time for Dote. I do apologize for the little mix up, but I hope it makes sense because we already told you exactly what the rate cap was, what a full levy is, and assessment limits. Okay, so there is an amount that each entity can actually tax you. Okay, let me make sure I'm at the right one. Okay, so let's move forward. We're getting to the end of this right here. And this is going to be the end portion for my primetime home buyers page. Okay. And we're going to continue on with giving some examples, or maybe we'll still show it on primetime home buyers. Let's continue. So 3 ways to assess properties. Now, if you don't know how to assess properties, you can do it the conventional way. And you can do it at certain time frames. So there are certain times that you get your property assessed, and that is when the sale evaluation consists of using the standard. When you're selling, when you're buying, is usually the time, and then when you're contesting tax. Does that make sense? So the 3 different ways that you can go about assessing your tax is 1, the sale evaluation method. And that consists of using the standard method of comparables. That's the standard method, considering the condition of the property, improvements that you make, and the market outlook. Okay, that is the standard comparable method. Or you can use the income method. That is for investors, that are people who have bodegas, stores, things like that. This appraised method is based on the income that you receive from the property, or they have rentals, they're renting out. Rooms, boarding houses. They do tax you on revenue that is made within property, minus the maintenance and other costs. Example, commercial businesses. So that's when we talk about taxes. Okay. They also can use the cost method. This method, the assessor determines your property value based on the amount of depreciation, and that is more for older model homes. This approach is with older model homes, also sometimes on newer model homes. This assessment can be based on buildings, materials, and labor. Okay, so the cost method can be one of the methods that you can determine the assessed property value. Okay, and that's how insurance companies assess how much insurance they're going to give you. It be based on the rebuilding, the materials, the labor. Does that make sense? That's how insurance do their assessment of the property. They include those factors. Now, let's talk about understanding homestead exemptions. They're pretty simple. All you got to do is go to your local tax office and say, hey, I want to apply for a homestead exemption. They say which one, and they're going to see if you actually fit the criteria. A homestead works like a tax exemption. I laugh because I see my typos. But I can't help it, y'all. I told y'all sometimes I read it 3 or 4 times, but I'm good. We good here. Okay. A homestead works like a tax exemption. Different states have different ways to apply their homestead exemptions. Okay. So it depends on your state and your county. Eligibility can depend on the income level of the property value. It can be based on, like I said, if it's zoned for lower income housing, you may be capped at a certain tax rate depending on the policies. If you're have disabilities, or if you're a veteran. These are surefire ways for you guys to get some type of homestead exemption. Homestead exemptions usually only apply to primary residents, excluding rentals and investment properties. So if you have a primary home, you will be more qualified. In some cases, some state exempt a certain amount of homestead value to be taxed. So sometimes it's even lower than what I just broke down to you. State cap is 10, 8. They'd be like, no, disability gets state cap 5. Elders, state cap 5. Things like that. You have to know the state law, okay? When states use percentage amounts, residents receive value in these exemptions. So you want to have a percentage amount versus a dollar amount. Like we're going to save you $500. I want 10%. I want 5%. Okay. That will help you more and benefit you more as homeowners. Okay. Now we're getting to the last PowerPoint, and then I'm going to address your comments. Concerns with property tax assessments. You can also apply for a tax deferral. Now, only certain persons will be approved for this tax deferral. Some counties offer these tax deferral, which is also known as a delay in paying your taxes. There are many factors that may occur that will allow you to apply for the deferral. A loss of job, hardships such as death in the family. Seek support from organizations that may help you apply for deferrals and pay for portions of taxes that are due. A lot of cities have programs like this: rental assistance, mortgage assistant program, and things like that. Okay, so you want to go to your board meetings, you want to talk to your local representative to see what they have to offer you. Okay, now we're going to get to the comments, and then we're going to get to giving a little bit more details by way of example of what's going on in Chicago. We're going to reflect on that, and we're going to go into showing you examples of property caps, as well as we're going to go into the Cook County Treasurer's Office and show you a video, understanding your tax bill. If we can play that, it's going to be a 5-minute video, and that's going to be directly for our Illinois people in Illinois. And we're going to show you the village of Dolton and a few other villages tax rate report from 2021. Okay. Does it sound like a plan? Does it sound like a plan? All right, let's get to it. I almost forgot what I said I was going to do. Now let's get to it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my Dolton residents, my YouTube family. Thank you for being here. I hope this information has served you well. Again, I am seeking outsources for people who would like to contract with me on a monthly basis, depending on the services that I need. As far as I need an editor, I have a lot of PowerPoints that I am revamping, and I have to submit to continue my patent and trademark. So I need someone who can go through this, and I can pay you by PowerPoint. Okay, let's get to it. That is just a general announcement. Now, don't forget to like and share your comments. Okay, the assessor of Thornton Township will be going over taxes with the people next week. Yes, and that's what I also want to share the clip. Okay, we do have a clip. You know me. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to share with the needy. Hold on. Give me 1 second. That sucks. Okay. Excuse me, y'all, because I had it already cut out already, and because I'm gonna upload it on YouTube for you guys so y'all can remember. They said Monday, so is it today? Today Monday or next Monday? This is for Dolton residents, okay? Just an announcement from my favorite, Miss Britley Norwood.
Hi, we're going to have our very own township tax assessor, Cassandra Herbert, so that she can come and actually assist the residents with appealing the taxes. So residents, come out. Make sure you can always find our updates on our YouTube, Dolton Trustee page, or our Facebook Dolton Trustee page. Again, I thank you all. If you all have a Trump party, contact me. For all the people that would like to sponsor, contact me. And I love you all. This too shall pass.
That's right.
All right.
This too.
Yes.
We're not going to get ourselves aggravated listening to her. This too shall pass. Okay. If y'all can, please share me on Dolton group, all the pages that they have, so they can get this tax information. All right. Blessings. Let me see if we have anything that you want me to answer. I just sold a house in Dolton, and yes, taxes were triple the amount since 2019. Okay. I always thought about those who had a job in real estate. So matter what state they're in, since the pandemic had set everyone behind. Yes, and that's why I teach you guys how to invest in tax liens and tax deeds. Because if we're going to deal with this inflated market, at least we're just going to have one factor to deal with, not a mortgage, two plus taxes and insurance and all that. At least we'll just have taxes and insurance without the big bankers. You know, I gotta throw that in there. Okay. Also disability exemptions and senior exemptions for property taxes. Exactly. That's some of the things that we talked about. Try to find an Airbnb in Dalton and let me know if you do. They gotta have hotels though. They have to have, you know, room and boarding rooms and things like that. All right. Real estate prices are ridiculous in Buffalo area right now. Definitely a seller markets. People stopped buying houses during COVID, which made it great for sellers. Yeah, because people were priced out of the market, and we did mention this many times. It was the big bankers, these big organizations that were able to tap into these interest-free loans and scoop up at least 30% of the property. And I think that's a lie because they keep saying 30%, but I believe that the private sector has scooped up more properties. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that you guys want me to get to. All right. So now what we're going to do is just show this brief video why Chicago suburban faces record high taxes increase. So this is directly going to be highlighting what happens in Dalton. I'm trying to decide, should I log off one of my platforms? But I think I'm just going to keep things going, okay? So everybody can get a full picture of what's going on in a particular area and kind of connect it to what we were sharing today. How about that? How about that? Bear with me, guys.
Sticker shock is property taxes.
Building your online business?
Don't do me like that every time. They said commercial break.
Suburbs, you may be in for sticker shock as property taxes are up nearly 20%, and that is a record high. It's according to a new analysis by the Cook County Treasurer's Office. It's the largest increase in 30 years. Of those 15 suburbs, 13 have mostly Black populations. Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas says the end of COVID reductions and businesses appealing their assessments are fueling the tax hikes. She also has a warning for homeowners in the city.
I was going to make a prediction about the city of Chicago next year. I would say it's going up. I would say it's going up. And I would say residences are probably in for a shock.
Pappas urges state lawmakers to take action on property tax reform. Tax bills go out next week. They must be paid by August 1st.
So what Dardick and Leidy did was an analysis of all 1.8 million bills. So we do this. This is the fourth year that we've done this. So we're pretty proud of their work product, which says, what does it say? It says, hey, listen, the South suburbs, which were recently reassessed, are up 19%. And 15 of the South suburbs, which are 13 of which are in Black areas, are up 30%. So we think that's significant, and we think it's extraordinarily significant because people are going to open up their mailboxes and they're going to say, what's going on? Well, the what's going on is here. This is our new programming. It's called Where Does Your Money Go? And it shows that this particular residence went up by $3,800, but it tells you which taxing district increased your taxes and by how much. In this instance, they're all Moores. Okay, so this is a residence. Then on this side, we have for you, I don't know if you can see this well enough, but this is a commercial building. Okay, so this is a commercial building. Believe it or not, it's up 1.4 million. Why is it up 1.4 million? Because everybody comes in, they stop me on the street. If I walk underground to Macy's, they like, why did my taxes go up? Why did my taxes go up? This shows why. Look here in this area. A new TIF was created. The school district went up. And by how much? These are all Moores.
Let me tell you something. I never saw a tax bill that got so much stuff on it in my life. And they had, oh my God, they have a common mental health fund. Where's that money going to? Y'all gonna really have to look at your tax bill closely and see, can some of these things be eliminated? because I never see so many different categories of taxation in my life. This is ridiculous.
But this is currently online on our website, cookcountytreasurer.com. You can download your bill right now. You don't have to wait to get it on July 1st or July 2nd. But if you also punch on either one of these, the financial statements of each of these taxing districts is available online. Chicago's being reassessed as we speak for next year. So next year, look, next year's report is going to be the 800-pound elephant, or one of the big five in a jungle. It's going to be next year.
Wow.
Next year is going to be, the OMG.
Wow.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, look, that's pretty easy to figure out. When was the last time you walked down State Street or Michigan Avenue? How about empty? Okay, so if all these commercial buildings are empty, when the assessor comes in, he goes, I got to give this guy who owns this building a break. So if you give commercial a break and theirs go down, the residences go up. So that's pretty obvious. I mean, look at the Gold Coast. If the keys at Water Tower get turned back over to the bank and Water Tower is almost 50% empty, the tax bill is going to go down. And everybody who lives in the surrounding area is going to pay more to make up for the fact that commercial went down.
You see that? And that's what I was trying to figure out myself. I'm like, okay, we have all of these commercial buildings coming in, all of these new businesses. Why the hell is our taxes going up? They should be paying taxes because they have commercial money going in. They have a revenue going in. We have just our income coming into our home. That is trifling, and that is the foundations of the American currency system. This is a greedy system, and it is backwards. When I was educating my kids, I homeschool, and I explained to them how taxes work, how interest work, how credit work. They was like, well, if you don't have it, you set up. If you got low credit, you got to pay more. You get higher interest rate, you pay more. Okay, that's ridiculous. So we get lower income. We have a lower income. Inflation compared to inflation, our income is like minute. And you have these big corporate companies coming in here, taking our money, taxation and everything, and their taxes are lower. So this is how, when you see all of this beautification going on, they give them tax breaks while we pay more. Gentrification.
So the apartments and the residences were all being assessed at 10%. Okay? All being assessed at 10%.
Wow.
What happened was the assessor came in and said, wait a minute, some of it's residential and some of it's commercial. So he basically divided it up. So whatever portion of your building is commercial, it went up. So now you have these buildings that were just assessed as residential being assessed as residential and commercial. So once you get into the commercial category, the bill's going to go up. 10% on residences and 25% on commercial.
Oh, that's good. That's good. They give them 25% on a commercial, but some counties, they give them incentives. And I'm going to be honest, some migrants come over and have a tax incentive for a couple of years. We found that out in the hood. Like, why is there so many Chinese stores and bodegas and shit? How these motherfuckers open up liquor stores and stuff they can't even speak English? Tax breaks, incentives. I'm just keeping it real, not being funny. We figured that out in the hood. Like, what the hell? How they always got all these stores? And it's not only that they stick together, they get tax breaks coming in.
These buildings that have a combination of both, for the commercial portion of the building, it went up 25%.
Jesus.
With HoneyBook, you can make sure
You can't survive there. You can't survive over there. All right, so that video is actually an 8-minute video. It's very interesting, and I want you guys to take the time and watch the rest of the 4 minutes yourself. That will let you know, and I know that you are actually interested in the topic and you want to continue learning. That will continue learning. So we're going to put that link at the bottom. I want to send shout out to the Cook County assessors, and what she referred to as the Cook County Treasury office, I believe. And this is another video that she has up there that I want to put up there for you guys. That's why I took that down, because I have another video that they have that I want to share. Educate, guys. Y'all better try to fight, get these tax bills down just like me. Once I get off my lives today, I got another letter to get to the tax commissioner because I have questions about the rate. And the tax assessor can't answer my daggone questions. And then something happened with this mail out here. It didn't get to them. I'm going to put it in certified mail again, and then I'm going to put it on their desk. Okay? Hand deliver it, baby. I am with you guys all across the United States and in Dalton and in Thornton. I'm suffering as well. My tax bill just came to me for next year, and my tax bill was literally, it went from $900 to $1,400 to $1,800, and now next year it says it's going to be $2,400. You know I'm fighting. I'm coming in hot. I ain't about to play with them. Prove it that I owe you when you do nothing for me. Okay? All right. At a moment.
This video was created to assist taxpayers on locating and understanding important information that appears on your second installment property tax bill.
Now, this is an example of the tax bill out here in Cook County. I want you guys to look. And I think I pulled up another example. If not, I'll pull it up so you can see. This bill is just ridiculous.
The amount due displays the amount to pay based on when you mail or submit payment. The 14-digit property index number represents the property legal description. Verify it on your deed. Pay only on your PIN. Include the PIN on payments and correspondence. The tax code stands for the combination of taxing districts that collect property taxes in the area where the PIN is located. Assessment levels are based on property use. Residential classifications start with a number 2. The late payment area shows the amount to pay after the due date has passed. Pay the one amount that matches the date you mail or submit payment.
I'm going to save this for you guys because I think I can do a better job than the Treasury office, honestly, breaking down some of this tax information on the bill. They just showing you how to pay the bill. Pay the bill. I think I could do a little bit better. I'm going to leave that resource for you guys. I'm not about to play with them. Don't waste my time. Don't waste. Okay, don't pay no mind of me. I'll be right there for you. I had karaoke this week. I did SWV. My ass with my voice singing. I'll be right here. Right here. ADHD. Have no fear. Have no fear. I'm sorry, y'all. I love you. All right, let's get to it. Can I zoom this up? This is an example of a tax bill. Can I sing to you? Let me see if I can save this image. I'm going to save it and see, can I download it? Can y'all see this? Can y'all see it? I want it to be big. I'm putting on some. Okay, let's just, if y'all can see the most you can. So as we see the rate. You see 2017, the 2017 taxes right here. This is the closest I can get it. And the 2017 rate. This is an example of a 2017 second installment bill in Cook County. All right. So right here, miscellaneous taxes, South Cook mosquito abatement Harvey. They have a tax rate of 0.016%. The cap amount is 5.6. Okay. So 5.6% of your taxes, of your fair market value will be the amount that the rate is times by. Does it make sense? Same thing with Metro Water, Reclamation District of Chicago. Please bear with me. I'm trying to see these little words. Same thing, based on the fair market value. They were able to get, the cap amount. I do apologize. I believe there's a certain cap amount that they're using here for each category. And those cap amounts are supposed to be reflected in the policies. That's why I'm asking why our school rate is so high and the percentage of how much they're actually based, the assessed value is so high. Now, let's just give you an example here. School taxes. So we have Richard Township High School, Perry State Common College, Elementary School District. Each of them have a different percentage of the fair market value that's taxed here. And then you have a different rate. So the Rich Township High School is 5.9%, and the elementary school is 7.3%. Y'all see how high that is? That's a problem. These students are not learning in school to have so much of a high tax rate. I don't care if this school ain't spanking new with all technology, everything, and the kids getting A's and they going off to college and full honor scholarships. I want to hear 7.3% rate, and that is going on all over. Now you go down. This is another example before we get off this page. The village of Richton Park. That's what it looks like. So based on the fair market value of this home, they're able to bill on $653 and at a rate of 2.02%. Okay. So this is how you understand how each entity is actually taxing you and the rate that they're taxing you based on the year. Okay. Now, once you get down to the bottom, it's going to tell you the total amount that they can tax you. Do not pay this bill right here. Dag it. What the hell? The Tiff Richard Park, Lakewood. Oh my God, this ain't right. I don't know what this is, but this looked like a levy of 2,426,000. That's billion. That's in the billions. I'm saying that wrong. This tax bill has to be mess up. This has to be. Do you see how much this tax bill for this person is? This is over $2 billion because of this TIF Richton Park Lake 5. This is just an example of something that I found online, but you see the bottom result of this tax bill? That's over $2 million. That's $2 billion. $430 million, 290,000.56. I know numbers, and that's ridiculous. But I think this is just an example, y'all. If you ever get a tax bill like this, baby, you better run for the border. So I'm going to leave this example for you guys along with that Cook County video. That's going to be the standard video that I believe that they show you at the board meeting and the tax lady show you. But I wanted to break it down and go into detail so you guys can see exactly what we were talking about at the first portion of this live. Now, we're going to get to property tax cap. Does your state have one? So you can just see an example of the different property tax caps in the United States so it can make sense to you. Visually, you can see it, okay? So this article, Caplinger Personal Finance. This is a third-party website. As I told you, first is always government. Second is specialists. And third is, I guess, people who make articles. Personal finance is kind of specialist, but anybody could get that title. As I told y'all, I'm the hood court interpreter on some days. So just be careful. Okay. So anyway, please hit the like button. So this article is going to be shared with you at the bottom of the page. Okay. In the description, types of tax property caps. So we talked about assessment limits, assessment rates, and rate levy limits. Okay. Y'all have an understanding of what this is. This particular article now that we had showed you before, now it's going to make sense. Property tax rate in Alabama. The assessment, does it have an assessment limit? No. Does it have a rate limit? Yes. Median property tax bill is about $701. Just to read a little bit about Alabama, then we'll get into Illinois and probably Georgia too, because I'm out here for it. Alabama property rate and levy limits contribute to the state property tax bills amounts, which are among the lowest in the county, according to United States Census. And we do know that Alabama has a really low tax rate too, but economically, as a person, you need to see if you will thrive in an environment like that. Be very picky of where you go. What's the commodities you're looking for? I will go to Alabama if I want a land that I'm going to hunt, use for building cabins, that type of stuff. I got to have a certain idea before I go out there. You see what I'm hearing? That's to my tax liens and tax deeds experts. Always have a plan and a plan A, B, and C when you're investing. So let's see, can we scroll down to Illinois? And then, let's go to Georgia first because Georgia's first. Let's see what Georgia got, because Georgia got not one of the highest tax rates, but they creeping up there. They said they like at an 8. Illinois is 1 and Jersey is 2. Remember what we found out yesterday. So Georgia, they do has a assessment limit. Yes. So I'm going to find out about all of that, because when I write my next letter to the commissioner, baby, state law and everything. First, I was just trying to ask you questions and I ain't get a response. Now we about to hit you with the law and the reference. Okay. Because I'm about to bring the heat. And that's what I want you to do. So in Georgia, there's an assessment limit. There's a rate limit. There's no levy limit. The median property tax is $2,048. Okay. And I'm above that right now. I don't like that. That's a lot right there. Property tax bills are more reasonable in Georgia than in other states, with median annual tax bills averaging about $2,048 and an effective average property tax rate at 1%. School tax exemptions offered to eligible retirees may also help reduce the bill. Heck yeah, I'm about to say I retired. That. Okay, because my kids not even in their school. I'm like the retired people. So that's good that the retired people could actually opt out of paying that high ass school taxes, because we got it here too. Excuse my language. We got it here too. However, income limits apply, and not all retired homes in the state qualify for these type of exemptions. So that's where they get the clause. You got to pay attention to the details, y'all. Okay. Property tax have increased dramatically in Atlanta, because Atlanta has their own taxes as well. Now we're going to show you one more, Illinois. Okay, now this makes sense to you guys, okay? No, Illinois does not have an assessment limit, so it's no state cap. The rate is capped, so you need to find out what the cap rate is, what each of these entities' rate can be capped at, and the levy limitation is there. So you want to find out what is their actual levy limitation for each entity, okay? Does that make sense? School district, library, what is their limitation? Are they going over? What is going on? What is the limitation on the fair market value they can assess, and what's the limitation on the rate? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Hit the like button. Educate, educate, educate. We're almost getting done with this live. I think I just have a few more things to show you to wrap it up to make it make sense. Property taxes can increase with inflation in Illinois, but the state has a 5% property cap in place to keep property taxes from raising too much during the periods of high inflation. So you may want to talk to the representative that y'all talked to in Dalton and ask them about applying for the 5% cap. And if that 5% cap calculates to be less, to lessen your tax bill, you may want to opt for that. Find out what the stipulations, what's the time frame, and how does it work for your particular property. Does that make sense? That's why we went into having state rate caps. What are they? Do they apply to your state? Because it may help you in times of inflation, i.e. right now, in times of crookedness. Okay. Even so, property tax bill in Illinois are far above the average, with the median tax bill being $5,000, $5,055, and an average effective property rate of 2.1. Oh my goodness. I'm complaining. I have a 2. We have a 2 in our school as well, I think. So I wanted to show you this. This is going to be information and link that you can use, share. Also, when you go see the tax lady in Dalton, that may help you, ask her some effective questions about that. Okay. The small print, I do apologize, but I got you, baby. I'm going to put all of that at the bottom so y'all can print it out, rewatch it, take a picture, all of that. Even put it in the comments for y'all so y'all can see it. So you can see it. I done turned country. We're from Newark talking about y'all. Well, we say y'all in Newark too, so I got to get out the South. I'm about to get up out of here, do a contract, go back to the North so I can get back my accent. Anyway, let's move forward. I left that link in there for you guys. Let me see what else we have to share with you. This is the Village of Dalton tax report. Now, this is not the Village of Dalton specifically. This is, I'm going to go back to page 50. Excuse me. This is the Cook 2021 Cook County tax rate release. Does it make sense? Ooh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I just saw that chart. I see the chart. That's all I see is that is ridiculous. Do y'all see that? Y'all like, no, not yet. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Look at this. Let me take this off. Look at this chart. Just look at the chart. Just look at the chart. Does it look like it's a problem here? Does it look like it's a problem? Can anybody tell me what they see with this chart? Steady increase. No matter what chart this is, y'all need to know that this ain't good. All right. So this particular document right here is I'm going to put is a 111 page document. Real Estate and Tax Services Office of Cook County Clerk Karen Yarborough. That's the lady who we presented. Shout out to her for trying to educate. This is not a new document. This is 2022, but you can use this for an example to educate yourself. Let's get to page 50. What do they have? Reassessment plans. And we already told you or explained to you how reassessment is done based on a rate and how much it'll possibly be based on a fair market value. If you did not see that, please rewind on the PowerPoint. That's ridiculous. Let me go down to 50, page 50. You'll be able, I'm not going to break each page down for you guys here. We're not doing that. I love you guys. But I can't break everything down. Let's go to page 50. Hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. Get Grace Levi in the lead in the algorithm, also known as the tax lady Lashley, and I'm also known as Nurse Lashley. Yes, do your research. I ain't hiding nothing. I am who I am. I got 3 different platforms. Address me accordingly. But right now, today, we're going to highlight the Village of Dalton. This is other tax districts, partially or fully within the municipality. So this was the average taxes compost rate in 2021 and 2020. There's a change in average about 14% in the Village of Dalton between 2020 and 2021 of total amount. Other tax districts partially or fully within the municipality. So these are some of the things that you are paying for. You're paying for this, the city of Dalton resident. So you're paying the Cook County, Consolidate Elections, Forest Preserve District. Some of the money going to Thornton Township. That's what it say. General Assistant Thornton, Road and Bridge Thornton, Village of Dalton. Is this mixed together? Let me see. Let me see if it's a Thornton Township here, y'all. Let me see what the hell going on. Hope that's together for y'all. I hope they ain't mixing y'all up. Hold on, let me go back to the key, y'all, instead of me scrolling through everything. Oh, shit. It is something separate. Dalton is on page 50, and Thornton is on page 75. Let's go to 73. I do apologize. Let's go to 73. What page is this? Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to see the difference because I was like, why is Dalton paying Thornton some taxes? Say page 73. I want y'all to look at that and ask some questions because I'm a little confused myself because I'm not a tax specialist, which I may want to ask this. Now, this is highlighting the Village of Thornton. The Village of Thornton, these are the taxes that you pay. Your percentage in 2020 to 2021 was a difference about 12%. And Thornton pays City of Cook County, kind of the same entities, Village of Thornton. You don't pay Dalton, though. Why the hell Dalton pay Thornton? and Thornton doesn't pay Dalton. Look, I'm about to take a picture of this, y'all. Now, y'all know me. I'm going to get the proof. What is that? Y'all need to ask y'all representative this question. Okay, I'm going to take a picture, y'all. Take a picture, write it down. Y'all see me, y'all. I'm getting the proof. What's going on around here? Let's go back up to page 50. With my stomach growling. Wow. You learn something new every day. This is going to be coming to our close, okay? This is some information from the Dalton and Thornton residents for you guys to highlight, okay? Just ask them what the hell going on. Why the village of Dalton pays Thornton Township? I ain't crazy. Like, y'all want to see it? We're going to pull it on so you can see it higher. This doesn't make sense. There we go. Y'all see that? Thornton Township High School. This is under Dalton Village. Ask them that question. Why are y'all paying for that? Please. 17 municipalities? Why? What the hell? Oh, Tiffany about to milk that dry. Wow. Y'all need to ask why and what state law govern that. I don't care. I ask them hard questions like, okay, y'all got it up there. It's been happening for years. It's just the way it is. I don't care. Don't tell Lashley that's just the way it is, baby. It is not just the way it is. And we will ask those questions because these good old boy systems need to be disintegrated. Let me show you the Thornton so y'all can see the difference. I was like, yo, what's going on? And y'all saying like it was okay. Y'all like, yeah, that's just the way it is. No, F that. Ask some questions. Shoot. Who is Thornton and what has Thornton done for everybody lately? Okay, no disrespect. But what's going on here? Thornton doesn't pay nobody else. Y'all see that? That's something that we need to dig into a little more. Okay. So we have been live for an hour. This is the 110-page booklet. I'm going to share it in the comments right now because it probably takes a time for me to update. I'll probably update it right afterwards because I got to get ready for our next live. Our next live is going to start around, I'm going to start it around 1 o'clock so I can do the next read for you guys about the $33.3 million appellant ruling. Okay. We're going to do that in about an hour. So that is the book that we were actually looking at. I hope that this was very informational for you guys. Please hit the like button. I'm going to continue to come with content that's going to educate, empower, make sure that you use your critical thinking skills, ask the hard questions. I don't care. Make the difficult comments, not disrespectful, but difficult. It may not agree with everybody, and that is okay. Because we are different and we're all made in the greatness of God's covenant. And he wants to reflect his greatness through everything we each do individually. So you already know, I'm just going to put on the screen, join the buyback team, Primetime Home Buyers. This is our sponsors. This is my program. I teach you how to invest in tax liens and tax deeds. It is not just a conventional program for tax liens and tax deeds. I actually give you keys that you can use as a real estate investor, as a general person who wants to understand what's going on around you when it comes to finance and law. So we have different seminars here, that's going to teach you basic concepts of foreclosure, how to look for properties across the United States, which is the GIS and Land and Survey. We also have a trust seminar. These are people who have nonprofit organizations. They are people who want to know how to secure their money for their family for the longevity and mitigate taxation when transferring that property. Also, in the trust section, I do have a bonus, and we talk about community trusts, how community trusts are actually put together. I have a lot of information. Each seminar has about 6 or 7 videos, 5 to 6 or 7 videos of 40 minutes of content. So I want you guys to know that Lashley works hard. I've been working hard to give as much information as possible to make sure that our communities and all communities who are being wiped out of the middle class was educated, able to stand on your high haters and do what you need to do to stand for yourself in this crazy, crazy world. So I want to say I love you guys and thank you for being here with me today. I will be back in an hour on Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. Please, please, please hit the like button, baby.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you. You don't